Every day, Confucius asked himself 3 questions, not once a week, not when he felt like it, not in a moment of crisis, every single day. The first, in my dealings with others today, was I truly loyal? The second, in my relationships, was I truly sincere? The third, have I practiced what I was taught? 3 questions, every morning, every night, every day of his life. Not because the world demanded it, because he understood something that almost no one in human history has truly grasped. The state of the world is a reflection of the state of the people in it, and the only place that change ever begins, the only place it has ever begun, is here, inside. This is the teaching of Confucius, and it is the most urgent idea in the world today. Confucius lived in China around 551 to 479 BC, a time of political fragmentation, moral decay, and constant warfare between competing kingdoms. He spent most of his life being rejected, wandered from kingdom to kingdom for 13 years, offering his philosophy of ethical governance and being turned away at every gate. His ideas were considered too idealistic, too demanding, not practical enough for rulers who wanted to know how to win wars, not how to be virtuous. He died believing he had failed. He hadn't. Within a few generations, his ideas had become the ethical foundation of Chinese civilization. His teachings shaped how an entire culture understood family, education, government, and virtue for over 2,000 years. But here is what matters. He didn't change the world by targeting the world. He changed it by targeting himself first and teaching others to do the same. The central teaching of Confucius is written in the ancient text called The Great Learning. It goes like this: if you want to bring peace to the world, first govern your nation well. If you want to govern your nation well, first regulate your family. If you want to regulate your family, first cultivate yourself. If you want to cultivate yourself, first correct your mind. If you want to correct your mind, first make your will sincere. If you want your will to be sincere, first extend your knowledge. And knowledge begins with investigation, with looking honestly at what is actually true. Read it again, but this time backwards. Start with honest self-examination, build sincere intention, correct your inner state, cultivate yourself. Then, and only then, regulate your relationships, then your community, then the world. This is the Confucian cascade. Everything flows from the inside out, every time, without exception. And what Confucius was saying, what he spent his entire life saying, is that most people get this completely backwards. They try to fix the world without fixing themselves. They try to change others without changing themselves. They demand better from their governments, their communities, their families, while remaining exactly the same person they have always been. And it never works. Not because the world doesn't need changing. It does. But because a corrupt river cannot purify the ocean it flows into. If the source is contaminated, everything downstream is contaminated too. Confucius called the ideal human being the Junzi, usually translated as the gentleman. But what it really means is far more powerful. The superior person, the cultivated person, the person who has done the inner work so completely that their character becomes the standard everyone around them is unconsciously measured against. The Junzi doesn't demand that others be better. The Junzi simply is better. And that, Confucius said, is what changes people. Not argument, not force, not legislation, character. He also taught the concept of Ren, the central virtue in all of Confucian philosophy, usually translated as benevolence, or humanness, or love. But Ren is something more specific than love. It is the active, deliberate choice to treat every person you encounter with the full recognition that they are a human being, not a means to an end, not a background character in your story, not an obstacle or a tool, a person. He expressed it simply: do not impose on others what you yourself do not want. The golden rule. 2,500 years before most people think it was said. And the word he used, impose, is important. Not just don't hurt others, but don't project onto others the treatment you would reject for yourself. Don't give others the version of you that you would not want to receive. Don't offer coldness you wouldn't want returned. Don't offer dismissal you wouldn't want returned. Don't offer indifference you wouldn't want returned. Give what you would want to be given. That is Ren. And Ren, Confucius said, starts with yourself, because you cannot give what you do not have. A person who has not cultivated warmth, integrity, sincerity within themselves cannot offer it to others. They can perform it. They can fake it for a season. But performance has cracks, and people feel the cracks. The Yunzi doesn't perform virtue. The Yunzi has become it. Here is the honest question. When something is wrong in your life, your relationship, your career, your family, your health, what is your first instinct? For most people, look outward. Identify what needs to change around them. Identify who is at fault. Identify what the world or the other person or the situation needs to do differently. This is natural. It is also almost always wrong. Not because the world is never at fault. Sometimes it is. Not because other people are never the problem. Sometimes they are. But because the moment you locate the problem entirely outside yourself, you have just made yourself powerless. Because you can only change what is within your control. And the only thing ever fully within your control is you. Confucius is not asking you to accept mistreatment. He is not asking you to be passive. He is not asking you to pretend problems don't exist. He is asking you to start in the right place. Start with the 3 questions. In my dealings with others today, was I truly loyal? Not loyal to what's convenient. Not loyal when it costs nothing. Truly loyal. In my relationships, was I truly sincere? Not performing sincerity. Not saying what people want to hear. Actually meaning what you say. Actually being present. Have I practiced what I know to be right? Because here is the gap that lives inside almost every person. The distance between what you know and what you actually do. You know you should apologize. You haven't. You know you should be more present. You aren't. You know what kind of person you want to be. Are you being it? This is the Confucian examination, not a judgment, not a punishment, an honest daily inventory. Because the person who asks these questions every day, who genuinely, honestly examines themselves against the standard they claim to hold, becomes, slowly, over time, someone different. Someone whose relationships improve, not because the other people changed, but because they did. Someone whose community improves not because the world changed, but because they showed up differently. Someone who, without ever intending to be an example, became one. The Yunzi, the cultivated person, not perfect, never perfect, but consistently, deliberately moving in the direction of better, day by day, question by question, choice by choice. Confucius was rejected by every king he ever advised. He wandered for 13 years. He died believing his life's work had come to nothing. But he never stopped asking the 3 questions. He never stopped examining himself. He never stopped trying to close the gap between who he was and who he believed a person could be. And what he left behind was not a political victory. It was a standard, a way of moving through the world that said, whatever is wrong out there, start in here. Whatever you want to see change, become it first. Whatever you are demanding of others, demand it of yourself. The 3 questions are not complicated. They do not require a teacher or a degree or a retreat. They require only this: the willingness to be honest about the gap between who you are and who you know you should be. And then, one day at a time, to close it. That is the whole teaching. That is all Confucius ever asked. If this video found you at the right moment, go to the comments right now and write one thing: I will not break. That is not a message to me. That is a promise to yourself. And tell this family which philosopher should wear the next mask. Drop the name below. If you're new here, this is what we do. Every week, one philosopher, one story, one lesson sharp enough to cut through everything the world throws at you. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Don't miss what's coming. Until next time, wear the mask.